Let me know when it's visible. We'll start. Hmm. Okay, the screen, my screen is visible, right, Robin?
Yes, yes, sure.
All
You can
right.
start.
So, hi and welcome everyone to MuleSoft Mysore Meetup group. So, good morning. So today we have the topic application design with respect to integration architecture. So this is a part one of the series. Okay. So before we continue with the presentation, I'll read out some safe harbor statement. Like both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here, and this presentation is strictly for learning purpose only, and organizers do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirement. Okay. We are recording this meetup, so if you want to refer sometime in the future, you can visit our YouTube page or the meetup page. Okay. um, to review and questions you can ask at any time. You have the chat enabled, and you can uh, directly ask with the speaker as well, and give us feedback after the meetup. Okay. So today we have two organizers for this meetup. So I'll introduce myself. Giri is on, but is having some issues, okay, with his audio. So I am Shubham Chaurase, working as a professional integration developer in Millennium. I'm a MuleSoft ambassador and MuleSoft certified. Okay, and over to you, Robin.
Thanks, Shubham. Let me share my screen. Hey everyone, is my screen visible, Shubham?
Yes, yes, Robin, you're good.
Hey everyone, I'm Robin Sinha. I'm certified MuleSoft integration architect. I have around 2 to 3 years of experience. I'm also MuleSoft mentor. I'm also certified in different courses. So under multi-cloud initiative, I am AWS cloud practitioner and GCP associate cloud engineer. Right now, I'm working as a specialist one in hashing by Deloitte. So this was me. So let's start to our topic. So today our agenda is to talk about what is design thinking and why it is important. What is the definition of a good design? What are the different models of design thinking and some real life business use cases, how design changed the world. And then we'll have a follow-up question Q&A and then we'll wrap. So these are the contents in the slides. Is like the design thinking definition, again, the importance, the goals of designs, process stages of design thinking, definition of a good design, model of design thinking, and real life business use cases. So let's start. So this will be an interactive session. So you may answer if you want to interact, you can contribute also. So our first question is, what is design thinking? So what do you all think, like, what do you all what comes to your mind, what strikes your mind when you think about a design thinking process or design thinking? Any one of you want to contribute here? Like, what first thing strikes to your mind when you hear the word like design thinking? What is that? Anyone? No? Okay. So basically a design thinking is the one of the most important process of any product, any application, any engineering. For example, if you are building a bridge, you'll have to make sure the design is foolproof, it is threat proof, because if you're because if you have started the design of the project, and if you're in the midway and you already decided that where the pillars will be, how the pillars will be, you won't be changing. It's very hard to go back and change the things who was how it was supposed to be. So for example, same for an application, if you're designing in multi-layer application with a lot of backend, with a lot of fully loaded full front end, and now in the midway of the project, like it's already been 1 or 2 years of development, and now you are saying there's a design failure, then it is like a nightmare for everyone. Trust me, everyone in the project, like how we're gonna go back and cover up things. Now there will be patches. Now like it's like something like you are just changing alteration, and what that will lead to, that will lead to high budgets, high, like it will cost a fortune for a company, right? So This design thinking is one of the most important thing in the project, like anything. If I'm calling a project here, is also a product, also an application, also in a device, and also everything in the engineering, like everything in the world, to be honest. So let's see what is this design thinking is. So design thinking refers to the cognitive and strategic and practical process by which design concepts are developed by the design teams. Here design teams can be business team, anyone can be a design team. Your product, you are the designer. If it's a process product, it's a company product, a team will design team, a dedicated design team will be there. Design thinking is also associated with prescriptions for the innovation of products and service within business and social context. So there are two things, which is out of a box idea, but we cannot have it every time. So that's why there are process involved, there are tools involved, there are phases, models are there, which are pre-built models that you can follow those steps and you can reach out to your goal. So let's know why it is important. So it creates better customer employee experience, deepens and widens customer relationships, improve customer retention, loyalty. If they will like your design, why people use WhatsApp, not Alto? Google is a very big company. They have launched their Google Allo. Even a switch came, like even Tesla owner Elon Musk uh, suggested to switch to Switch. I think it was Switch. I don't remember the exact name of that application. But people are still stuck to their WhatsApp. What is there? What do you like in WhatsApp? It's about their simplicity. People used to keen with the applications. I remember some year back there were an application, even most of the YouTubers were promoting it. It was a one-step application where everything was there. You can take your groceries, you can book your taxi, you can book everything from there, you can book your TV shows, everything. You can do your payments, you can, it's like it was everything. You can, it's a GPay, it's a phone pay, it's also book my show, everything was there. It flopped. Why it flopped? It was also a chat, so people don't want it. They didn't like the design, they didn't want everywhere, they want each application dedicated to it. So they still wanted to use their WhatsApp and Instagram, but they don't want application where they will have both. That is what people mentality is and why they are comfortable with, because it's simple. So simple design is always prescribed over complex designs, and which is very hard to understand from the customer experience and from customer point of view. So reduce inefficiencies, because see, they, if you properly design, even in the architecture, whenever you design a backend, it is said that it should be threat protected, it should be worst case scenario, though it will be expensive, but still they said that do a multi-line server setup. Even if one server fails, we cannot afford our server to go down. So do a multi-parallel serving. It's the parallel servers, like they're wasting this extra server, but that's just for backup. So those things are there just to protect their design, just to make their design more reliable. Design new building models. So this is like, for example, there some of the business, for example, who would have thought that in 1990s that you would be booking your taxi from your mobile phone? Who would have thought there will be a mobile phone? These are all process of design thinking, and they said how to solve the problem and what should be the most efficient design. And then again, it increases value to the society. A mobile came. If there was no mobile, if the design thinker didn't thought of a mobile device which would be there in mobile phone in your pockets, there will be no mobile applications, right? And in there no mobile application means there will be no existence of application Hotstar. There will be a business, won't be Netflix. There will be no Netflix application, though it will be on web servers, but it won't be a big company as it is now. So these are all the applications. There will be no Google Pay. There will be no non-existent. So these Google Pay, Phone Pay, these will be non-existent applications because there is no mobile phone to support them. So these are like one design supports another design and creates a path for next design. So these are the importance of design thinking. So let us know how we can know how we can know that why anyone is important. Let's check what are its down facts, like what happens if there's a design failure. Let's see those consequences. So then we will know that why it is so important. A design failure. can leave your companies, leave your reputation on stake. It will kill your reputation. It will kill your company over time. So this is the one of the cost, which is design failure cost. Like it always, a reputation is always. So for example, a design failure occurred in GPay and people took your money, took someone's money, 1,000 or lakhs or crores of rupees got transferred from many accounts. It kills their reputation. We heard that 80,000 or 90,000 rupees were transferred by mistake by Google Pay server for around 13 or 15 people in near like last month, and some of them transferred the money. Though most of them got back, most of them were like, some of what they did is as soon they got the money, they transferred it to different account and Google Pay couldn't retrieve it. But some of the accounts were retrieved. Again, what we think, it's a reputation. Now we say, now we have to think like twice, like are our money safe? Once it is still fine. Suppose it's happening frequently, happened 10 times. Some money got debited from Google Pay, and due to Google Pay architecture mistake, everyone will install Google Pay. Even if it occurs 10 and there's a media launch of it that Google Pay is unsafe, lakhs of the uninstalls will happen in a day. So this is what it causes to your reputation, and people will think twice to again install it. A fortune, again I'll told you. So all the Google Pay revenue, if a design failure happens, all the Google Pay revenue goes. Let's go to construction business of like a design failure. For example, a bridge fails, we know that there's a law action against the contractor, but they won't get contracts near future anyway in the government contract, because a big crore bridge failed and they cost a fortune to the government. It costed the fortune to the company itself. Again, who is responsible for the design? The architect. That's why people said why architects are paid so much, why architects and why the designers who is owning the project, product managers are paid so much, because they took the ownership, they designed the project, so they deal with the consequences. Anything happens, if it's a developer has just to have a task to develop certain things, for example group of things, and that is his ownership. But if some bigger design failures, the architect is fired as soon as that design fails. So it takes job. Sometimes it also takes the company. There are so many design disasters in the history. If you open it and you see that there are so many great companies, they targeted even that after the design failure, even that company existence got to like they were at time they were at times that the company was going to vanish, they were company was going to go bankruptcy. So this is, and just because one of their 1,000 product, one product failed and people started boycotting every project, so the product, so that is what it can go to. Like a design failure can cost, one product goes wrong and your all product goes. It can also cost lives, bridge failures, flight failures, like aircraft failures. It cost lives, and that was all design. Due to design, there was some Airbus 370 or 360, there was some Airbus, they had to ground all the aircrafts. There is a concert in a France airline, there's a Concorde, it's called Concorde or Concert, and that airline has to go down, just that aircraft has to be grounded because it was very unsafe, it causes very pollution, it causes very sound. So for example, if it went above us right now, it would have caused a loud noise pollution. Due to that design gap, they didn't think before investing thousands of crores of dollars, millions of dollars, they have to ground their well crafted airplanes. So these are all design failure costs are. Now let's take some real life funny example and how it causes reputation, a company, a fortune, and jobs. So do you remember this? Anyone of here? Can you recall this? What is this? Any iPhone users in the meetup? Giri, do you use iPhone? So this is a major design failure for iPhone. I'm not sure it is still there or not, but it was a major. Now they don't have that memory issue, but they were when they were 32 GB, 64 GB memory. My friend had an iPhone SE, I think, or it was 5 or 4 SE. When he was clicking picture, he got this message, cannot take photo, there is not available data. He used to delete one picture, then he tried again. He got the same message that cannot take. He deleted 5 photos. Now again there is an option coming that cannot take. So this is a design failure. It was it was a meme also, for there is no storage. Then Apple went to their re remodeling their models, and now they are giving a bigger space, 256 GB, even 1 TB they're offering, because there was a very much issue with that, because they used to capture good amount of pictures. And iPhone is known as a picture phone, right? People used to take, because iPhone gives a very good clarity of pictures, so they are good in that part, but they didn't think it through that their storage will go down. And even if the storage goes down, they could have implemented and told that how much memory should be deleted, so that I delete only that much of photos, because every photo is important. Then I can take new photos. But they didn't implement that. They didn't give any memory target, anything. And now we are just hit and trial method were left. So that you have to go back, delete some, come back, check if it is working now, again go back and delete some. So this is iPhone's design failure. Now this is a fashion week. People, it's a big brand. I won't take any name of the brand. Now what they did a promotion, but what they are promoting, anyone can notice what this there was an article on this, that why this design was promoted and how any company can promote this design. So if you can see here, there is a knot which relates to hung knots. When people are hung till death, that knots. People, when people do suicide, they are these knots. So what are these knots in a hoodie promoting? So these is a question. This is a question on the reputation of the company. This is a our country is very emotional, and when people tend to see these things, they used to, like, a series of boycotts can occur, right? They can be $1 million loss to a company. Again, see, this is a funny. They are promoting their mat with the person, but and that they're saying it's a very comfortable mat. It's a camper mat where you can keep. But the funny thing is that even the promoting guy is not sitting on that mat, and he's just using that for reading his article, and he's preferring the ground over the mat. So these are the things where people didn't think through, and their design meant to design disasters. Again, so this is another funny incident. In a mall, Turkish Airlines promoted their aircraft, and what they did, did the promotion. So now, who all of you will try and will take book the tickets after seeing this ad that they are promoting this, that their plane is targeting through the ground? So people will think twice, and even they trust Turkish Airlines. Even you have been that we will funny on their mind, and we will just, it will ruin their reputation. That how, who would have like, why they would have, anyone would like post their promotions like this. Now the so these were some funny design. It cost companies at some extent, but not like, it did not wrap up the thing also. So this is the biggest history disaster. So this Hindenburg disaster, a catastrophe that put a halt to the era of passenger airships. So there was an era in 1970s and 60s, passenger airships were coming very common. More company was coming up, and they were making this helium gas balloons, and there were a deck on that, attached deck, and people used to do air travels. But this disaster, there were so many disasters, but this disaster marked that end. The government did not give any license after this. All the companies who were making it or who were running it had to ground it. They could not fly it again. So this is what design. They didn't think through that helium is a highly combustible gas. Any spark, anything will, and with a balloon will burst. So similar gas, like there were so many incident, and this incident marked the end of it. Now you won't see anything, and nothing like this will come in near future. So again, this design costed their company, their fortune, everything. Now let's see why it is. So all I am talking about is bad designs. what it costs, and you will say that okay, why we are in the integration means of why we are taking it seriously. Okay, so what, why we are the middleware? But again, in retrospective, we have to think because we are in the middleware. So source won't take any lead. Target, we are the designers right now in there. Like we, what we do is we are the designers of the data flow, how data comes and how data goes. So we are the middle person who have to take the responsibility of everything. Now let's check why it is very important right now, because the market size of integration is increasing, and it is increasing. It is projected to go a very huge in 20, till 2027, because what we did, as I already told you earlier, we wanted to use WhatsApp, we wanted to use Instagram, we wanted to use Facebook, but we didn't want any application where everything is there. We wanted separately, we wanted to use GPay. Now what people also want, that they should be integrated, you know. Like for example, they want Flipkart, but they also want UPI payment through phone pay. So all these things, right, all these things they want it, but how it is possible? They cannot, phone pay cannot give his data, everything like his code, and attach it to Flipkart. We still don't want that. So here comes the middleware. We'll take the data from PhonePay, we'll we'll take the data from Flipkart, and we'll sync it. A request from Flipkart will entertain, our APIs will entertain, will APIs will say everything is there. Then we'll make efficient design how to call Flipkart, how to call PhonePay, which is secure, which is safe, and which is most efficient way. So the SLA, there is also SLA. So people don't just want to go in the Flipkart, place an order, when it is coming to UPI, it is taking 10 seconds to make that UPI page open. People even don't want that. So we'll have to think how to make calls in such a way that we are also authenticating, we are also tokenizing, and we are also making it secure in the sense that people cannot jump in between and just take our information. So everything should be there. And again, we still have to do the data transfer as well. So these are the reasons. So even banks who were very secure at the time and didn't want to involve with anyone, right now they are involving with APIs with GPay, which is a different company. And you're, for example, let's take an example of SBI. SBI, a different bank and a company. And again, this GPay, Google Pay is an MNC. Again, what they are doing, they're calling the APIs, and now bank is sharing your data with your consent with Google Pay. Now you can say you check your balance. Nobody calls bank to check their balance. You'll go to Google Pay, you can just give your UPI pin and you can check your balance, where that balance is coming from. That is coming from Google Pay. That is coming from bank server, which has approval for Google Pay. So that middleware is an API call, and that is can be anything, any integration. Right now we are using MuleSoft. People can use Delboomi. People can use other platforms, APG. So again, these are all integration market. That is the reason why integration. Other bigger applications are going, but they want to interact with each other as well. But these are the challenges I just talk about. So it, your data isn't where it needs to be. They sent a request from Flipkart, and Google Pay, the request is, but it's someone other account, right? So that is there. Your data is there, but it's late. Now Flipkart wants the data in 3 seconds, because they don't want to make their customers agitated and sad. They want it 3 seconds, and our API is not performing well. And our API is taking 10 seconds to retrieve the data. It's too late. They will say that it's error out, and we are the one who have to figure it out, that how we can do, and it is if it is possible or not, and where we can make the changes to make it more efficient and make it under 3 seconds or 4 seconds. Now again, we are sending the data, and we are sending, if my name is Robin and I'm sending something else, for example, even R is missing, Obin, to Flipkart server or Flipkart's screen, again, that is an issue, right? So even a bank data is coming, they should, when the portal is opening, everything is opening. The name, the data should be formatted correctly. The data should be expected. If it is, it's requesting an XML, you have to give them to XML. If it is a JSON, you have to give it to JSON. Again, in that format only, where that it is, there's a template for every system, and they want it in there. Again, the fourth point is poor quality data. you are providing a data, but it's not very useful. Some fields are missing, some fields are absent, some fields are null and void. So these all things, there are duplicates. So same requests are coming, and we are not filtering it out. We are just making it duplicate calls again and again, same thing. We are not caching it. So again, this things are the challenges we have to overcome. So if it's a sync, for example, we in the integration domain do a nightly sync, bad jobs and all. But again, we are syncing it duplicate. So some DB will reapply the things, for example, reinsert or update the same value, but some DB will have a restriction. Any update will fail. So once they will have that, for example, audit data, they will have a condition where audit data should only come once in any table. So if you go with the same primary key and if you try to insert again, it will fail. For example, let's take salary example. If you are giving an employee salary for March, and again you are syncing it again and you are giving employee salary of March to some other value in, and it's a daily sync, then that data which is already inserted, that table will have a restriction and won't be, because a salary can only be one, right? Even if it was earlier or it is uh, the 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 updated one, but you have to, that needs a manual intervention, that needs approval as well, that why this is changing and why it was earlier this. So again, our API has to handle it. If there's a duplicate values, what we can raise an incident, we can raise an error, we can raise an alert, and then again we have to handle in that way. Now again, we are sending the data to a system, so we are taking data from multiple system and we are getting giving it to target system, or 3 or 4 target system, and we are taking data from 3 or 4 source system. But again, there is no clear understanding of what data you are sending. You don't have any labels, you don't have any fields, you just have keys. If you don't have any keys, you just have values. What good is to me it to me? And if you're not sending the proper data, and it's no understanding what the data means and what we need to do, right? What operation is there? Now I'll tell you the impact because of these design failures. Again, coming to the original topic in integration, people are not designing it well. Now that is the reason, which is reported. It's a McKinsey Oxford study. It's a real link here. It's a real study where which was done in and reported in 2012, that 70% of those large projects has gone so badly that they threaten the very existence of the organization. For example, let's quote XYZ in the company is a middleware, and that middleware ruined the, they tried to do a project in 2 years and they didn't complete it, and they didn't couldn't complete it, and there were so many errors that even it caused the very existence of the his client partner. And then they will sue, obviously they will sue their integration partner again. So that's how like things work here. Same, the research has shown that large projects having large amount of information that requires integration has a failure rate of 50% higher than small projects. So generally, these large projects are very complex. There are so many systems involved. There are so many people involved. There are so many. For example, your project has an Oracle system, if your project has a Manhattan system, it's a Snowflake system, there will be different teams. There can be different companies involved. So when there's a bigger pool, there's a chances to lose is also bigger. So 50% of the projects have a failure rate. Now Forbes 2016 has studies done that 70 to 84 digital transformation efforts ended in partial or total failure. So this is now coming to our recent scenarios, that in COVID, everyone went for there was a boom for digital transformation. Everyone who were doing business in their marts, now they also want to go online. For example, let's take DMart. They were doing, earlier they were just doing everything in their stores. They were only store pickup. Suddenly there's a COVID, all the stores are closed. First they think is let's sell through the partners like Amazon, Flipkart. Flipkart is taking 30%, 20% charges on their item, so their profit decrease. What are their closest solution? Let's go and make our own platform, DMart, and DMart.com will sell everything and will ship to your place. Now they have invested everything. They have took a CRM, they have took an integration partner, they have took the targets, for example, DB partners, AWS for servers, everything. But the project took 3 years and we are in 2023 now, and the project is still not completed. It is, we followed agile, but still it is not at the mark which it can be go to production and go to the real life customers. Now stores are closed. They are thinking that they are just burdened with that money, so they have initially thought they won't make profits. How long this COVID situation can go? Now they won't make profits with stellar partners like marketplaces like Amazon, Flipkart. Now what they are doing is they are stuck. Like we invested in 3 years, and this investment is still not giving revenue. We could have They have thought their decision twice, that we could have directly went to sellers or selling partner. We could have given some, for some time we could have given them revenue. Still we could have gained at least something, and now it's 3 years in the service, and still we are not in the product ready stage, and we are not earning anything, and we are just reporting losses. That's why project gets they just leave that, okay, let's leave and sell through the selling partner only, because this project is not going to complete anytime soon. For example, the partners or client business partners have like suggested that it will go at least till 2024, and then they will just say, okay, let's leave it the project here, we can start if we'll see other opportunities again. If something comes up, we'll again wrap it, but we won't be able to invest now. So this is what is a COVID havoc was, and that's why all the market is also down for even for the techies, because now people are rethinking their choices, that do we even need the digital transformation? Are people going to buy it or not? We are investing so much. Are people going to buy it, or still they want to come to our store and then still buy the same? So this all on revenue, it's all on business. So now let's come out of the business, and now let's see the process of design and stages, how to think and how to process it. So now let's take our mind from the business and all the business losses, profit. Now come to the process of the design thinking, how we have to think, how you have to make your mind ready to do so, or in the coming future if you have that challenge. So it's a human-centered approach that draws from the designer's toolkit. Toolkit is what you have in your mind, basically what steps you have to follow to integrate the needs of people. Now, what you'll have to do, you'll have to empathize. Empathize is like you have to keep your in. You have to be in their foot. For example, you have to think like a customer. So, for example, you are making a Flipkart, you're making an Amazon. You have to first think of a customer, that what customer wants, what is the ease, what they want. They want cash on delivery for trust. We have to give them. They want if the customer is old, they trust our platform. Do they want every time cash on delivery, or they want to do the payment here and only? We have to give that feature. So you have to empathize and you have to think like them. Now define. You have to define your problem. So you have to define that you want a payment gateway in your application, that you have to design the problem. Then if you define the problem, then you have to design the solution. Then only you can design the solution. So that this is what the definition is. Ideate. Ideate is here, like what are the potentials of solutions, like what is the best solution here? There are so many solutions. There are payment gateway. So should we integrate GPay itself, or should we have some payment gateway that's riser that will be incorporated in our application only? Or should we go click have a phone pay payment application where we'll move the customer to phone pay, make the payment, and let will come back to us? So all these things we have to see what is best for us, what is most business efficient, what is most customer experience efficient. Again, we have to design a prototype. Obviously you can't just give anything to production, give anything to customer, it will ruin your reputation. Again said, prototyping is basically make it to design safe. You cannot just what you have in mind, you cannot just make for people. First you have to test. So you'll have to make prototype, then you have to test it. There will be so many tests. So last stage is testing. You have to make it threat safe, you have to make it disaster safe, you have to make it anything can go wrong safe, for example. Then this is like you have to think like that. So for example, empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and then test. Then our product is at ready, then it can be given to the customer. And then again, what do you think, their reviews? So let's talk about now goals. So again, understand, empathize, understand is same. Define is like create and in your mind. Ideate is like think of the best solution, prototype, and then test and then deliver. So now our goals for the design thinking is like when you do the design thinking, is the goals would be like solve complex problems for human perspective. It also focuses on creativity and innovations. Just a second. Yeah. So it so when you are your mindset should be that it should be creative, it should be innovative, and it should be user certainty. So user certainty means that my users will like it. So Amazon, Flipkart has a yellow and blue color theme, so they will again upgrade the look, but they won't go to red and green all of a sudden, because when people think about Flipkart, a blue symbol comes in a yellow patch. So how people think, so when you think about any brand, for example, if you think about BMW, you see the color and you say that it's BMW, be it on any car, be it on any t-shirt, you'll say it's a BMW symbol, because you see it, you have seen it through in your life, you know, you attach your brand and logo and the colors to your mind. Now they will go, suddenly they will go green. So it you won't accept it, and you won't expect it also, like why it is green, what was the reason, we liked it earlier. Mercedes has a symbol, we like it, we don't want the change, nobody wants. They have been looking it from their childhood, they won't want to see now that three arrows getting changed to something else. So this is, we have to think through before designing your new prototype or new update. Again, it's any, we are in the business market. If you are in the tech market and you're working for any business, in the end of the day, we are fulfilling the client's need. The client is fulfilling their customer's need. So again, it should be desired with the user. The user is the customer, and it is viable for business. So I won't give a design approach to a business who has already a funding crunch. He's going to a rough patch. Every company will go to rough patch in some days of its initial, maybe even in mid they will go. I won't give a design approach that go and buy the expensive servers of AWS and then build an architecture which is uttermost expensive, because it will fail my design. And because the projects won't be getting completed anytime soon, they will have a financial crunch, will give them extra load, and that project will fail for sure. So my design of the process was, there was a process design also, and that process design was a failure from my side if I'm going to give that to my client. Again, should be technological feasible. I won't give a design that I should not give a design that okay, will make a hanging bridge and it won't have any towers, it won't have any support to the ground, it will be from one building to other building and will make it like 1,000 meter long. And I'll give that, I will define that it is logic, it is theoretical, maybe it can be theoretical possible, but is it practical? Is is that bridge which could be made in 1,000 crore, 100 crore, is it practical to make in 1 lakh crore just because I like the design? No. So that is, it should be technologically feasible, in the sense here I'm said that it should be engineering, like engineerically physical, feasible, like an engineer design, but technology is the same thing. So we are doing that, we'll do this, we'll have the table, we'll have the table listed, again we'll designing a process. But again, is it, why we are making the complex possible? And even it is a possible thing, even if the bank is going to share the data, is it possible, it is feasible? No, they won't. They can just give the data which we, and that should be authenticated and authorized. We cannot have the database of bank if we want. So it is not technologically feasible. So we should not do such suggestions. Our goal should be that it should be feasible. Now, so after taking the process, taking the goals, what do you think, what is a definition of a good design? Anyone here, like, now after these PPTs, like these slides, now they have grasped that, now they can say confidently what is a good design. A one word answer can be suffice. Anyone? I can't, I'm not able to see chat, so you have to unmute and speak. Shubham, am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, according to me, the design should be, it will be full of simplicity with all the basic functionality that should be user friendly also.
Okay, so uh, can we call it a good design if it's a user friendly, if it's a simple design, if it has all the functionalities?
Well, if it's a simple design, then that would be like in more demand by the user. So yeah, that will be one of the feature according to me for a good design.
Like you have a good answer, but problem in the question itself. We can never be sure that what is a good design at the initial phase. So even I build a simple architecture, everyone is happy, right? When
Mm.
we push the build to customers and they just don't like it. They say it's simple, it's one word, yeah, everything we are, but we won't like it. Like we are not liking it. We are I'm getting backlashes. Then again we have to reprocess the design. So a good design is only a good design when it is appreciated by users, its users, be it is a bridge, be it a road, be it a highway. So they have made a Yamuna Expressway, right?
Mm.
They can be complex, they can be simple design. But we liked it because they're aesthetic, their use, like their how they made it, how convenient it is still now we like it. May it can happen that they have to protect their design as well, so that we continue to like it. So these all things are the definition of design thing. Design, good design is like it should be user accepted and it should be user liked. Basically user should, the end user, anyone, it can be customer, it can be business, they should like it and they should find it efficient and they should actually help them. It should actually help them. Then we can say, yes, if my design was a good, may it will be nightmare for architecture team, may it will be nightmare for the good design team. So let me tell you an instance. We all know, right? Email invoices. You go to a store, you buy something, and now they give a feature. Do you want it on your email or do you want it on your message SMS? And you say, yeah, just do it. You do it, right? And they will send you an invoice to your mobile phone. Now, the backend will have a headache because there are so many things involved. There is a SMS partner who is giving the SMS. For the email, there's a design partner who is giving the email template. You as a middleware have to take the data from everyone. Everyone is giving their own data. They say that I'm saving in URL encoded XML. They say that just I just want XML. You have to like you have to decode that URL encoded. Someone said I want a JSON. You have to transform it to JSON. Someone said I will just accept 50 parameters in one payload. I won't take more than that. And now you are doing all the things you are making, and now they are saying that it should be under 3 seconds. Everything. Now you say that it's not feasible, then you will they say, okay, let's make it 5 seconds. Now you have to design, reprocess, make architecture. It is coming from the industry lead. They said that when they designed it for the first time, they said that they're gonna never ask any store. They designed it itself. And the architect said that they're going to never ask for a receipt on their emails or message because they know the headache of the backend team. And that invoices can be used legally, so it cannot be correct. There are no chances of it cannot be incorrect. There are no chances they can take logically. Otherwise, they in the US, for example, if you give someone a receipt of $5,000 in place of 50,000, $50, they can take that receipt because it's given by the business partner. They will sue the business partner that you have to return the money and you have to return the same amount of money which was given in the receipt. Now they have to do the legal cases over there. And now what they will do, they will bring the integration partner, which was us, and now they will say why your API sent this data. This is what you made. Now it is blame on the middleware. Now they have to check, okay, what is the issue? Then you will say that, okay, we have to do the analysis, and you said we sent the correct data, or our source was only incorrect. So we sent the data which we received. So these all the contracts are there. So again, these all things covers in just a simple thing, which is SMS and email invoices. So the backend is very complex. The front, the in your customer experience, you're just getting a mail. And if you're not getting a mail at and bare moment, they will say, how tough it can be to just to send the invoice to the mail, right? There can be registered customer, there can be guest customers who is signing for the first time. So all those things, right? All those complexities. So again, it would be only good design only if it is user accepted and user liked. It can be user friendly, but still they won't like it. If they won't find it user friendly, we cannot define it how why it is user friendly. We can only define it as user friendly when it is liked by them and they appreciate the design.
It's according to their feedback, whatever we get.
Yes,
And at the
yes,
initial phase, we can improve those things.
yes. We can again take, so it's like a spiral model. We take it, we improve it, and we relaunch,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So there are some pre-built models of design where like they have given the models that they have this should be the way. So there is no hard and fast way in the models. There's some all the models talk in same thing in some other way. So some says to skip one step, which is not more important. Some says it should be parallel. Some says it should be spiral. So let's go. So for this example, this model, now generate ideas, make connection, take insight, for example, experiment, prototype, take idea, explore, empathize, again go back to generate ideas. It's a completely spiral model. So you have to go to circular. So it's like you have at one stage, there is no single point of stage. It's all stages. So stage one, stage two, stage three, again stage one is stage four. So it just goes and goes around. The other says a user central design. You should design user centered, think like a user. You have to research the users, what user want. You have to design what user want. You have to adapt like what users are liking. My application is good, my API is good, but someone is making other API and people are liking it. For example, people are liking Instagram, so I had to take inspiration from Instagram only. I cannot take inspiration from some application which is already dead. So that is what we have to adapt also to our architecture, that if someone is liking their designs, we have to take the inspiration from them. You don't have to copy, you have to take inspiration what people are, you have to think what people think, like what people are liking, what actually they're liking about the design, and then you have to adapt to your design. So people do it all the time. So for example, when the iPhone in like integrated touchpad, they other companies, you won't say that other company copies the touchpad. What they did, they took the inspiration, they said why they are liking, why they're crazy about the design. They said okay, there is a touchpad, now they have to build their own design, what how we can design the touchpad. There's a patent on touchpad as well. Now they have to fight that legal case and technologically overburden as well, that how they can do in such a way that it doesn't like compromise the patent of Apple or any device industry, and still we can have a screen because people wants that. People won't buy a phone without a touchpad now. So you have to overcome that as well. So there's an initial struggle everywhere. Again, you have to measure the metrics, like what how much people are liking. Is people still interested in keypads because we have a lot, like thousands of phones already made, architectures already there, applications already there which are on keypad, and people, how percentage of people wants to go switch to touchpad. Again, we have to plan very nicely. So again, plan is also part of design thinking. So it's process design thinking. You have to process, design the process how we're going to switch from keypad to touch, and that should be feasible, and how much month and how much losses will incur and how much profits will do after doing that. All the projections, all the things are like, and comes in the plan. Again, so it's a parallel, so you have to understand, define, diverge, decide, prototype. So this is sharing. So you have to understand and define at the same time, and then define and diverge at the same time, and diverge and decide. So it's like a parallel thinking process, and then you have to prototype and validate at the same time. So this is like a model where you have to do multiple tasks in the same time, and you have to share the thoughts accordingly. So when you're understanding the problem, you have to define the problem as well. Now these are some pre-built models given by by the some industries experts. For example, Austin Center for Design Educational Program says that it's a spiral thing. So for example, problem identification is a point, but again infography where they discover is like 7 different spirals. It goes with seven different types. So you have to discover 7 different ways. Again, you have to ideate what is the most potential way in that. Again, you have to synthesize that most potential way also, that it is how it is feasible, how to transform it, how to iterate it, and now you have to refine that single. You decide, hey, at this moment you decide and refine your thought, and you refine your design, that what is your release going to be, and after that you make that in a real prototype, and then validate the design, and then you implement it. So this is the Austin Center for Design Education program. Now this is another model which is deep design thinking, and deep design educator Mary Cantle, it is given by Mary Cantle design, and it is about deep design thinking. So this is like a pie model, and here you produce, discover, empathize, experiment. Again, experiment went wrong, produce, discover, empathize, experiment. So this again goes like a spiral, but it divided a task in a pie model. Again, Design Council UK, which is charity for strategic design, says there's a different strategy. What we are saying, first there should be a trigger point for design. For example, trigger point can be something which is like, for example, trigger point is like, I want an application for booking my cabs. So that's a trigger point. Now I'll understand the problem. Now I define the problem. Now I reason and plan, explore the problem, and then I'll create the solution out of it. So these are, there are some more design for medical student social. So again, identify. So every design thinking model talks about the same thing: identify, reframe, these design, think, process it, technically feasible, but the outcome is same. It should be user liked, and it should be well proved. So it can happen that your design is liked by you. So yeah, I said you have to protect your design as well. So for example, it might happen that I like Yamuna Expressway for now. I like some application like GPay for now, but what, I won't like it if it takes all my money. It fails. So I will, my mind from liking it, loving it will change to hating it in just moment, in a moment. So it should be protected, it should be threat proof as well. So because we are trusting the design, so we have the team, the developer team, the, like, basically the solution partner team should be making their design in all, like they should be making design foolproof in all the things as well, all the aspects as well. So these are, and again, IDEO International Design Consulting one will say discover, interpretation, ideation, experimentation, and evolution is like, again, go for discover. So it's a, like a repeated process. Now let's take real life business use cases. So this is the last part of our this today's workshop or session. So any questions till now? Okay, I will, we can also take it at last. That is fine. So now real life business use cases, I already mentioned Apple disrupted the market with their touch. Apple was nowhere in a big names when it was of talking about mobile phone. It was expensive tech hardware, just expensive tech hardware. So for example, right now I launch some expensive tech hardware. I won't be the biggest company in the world, right? I won't be the biggest tech company in the world. What Apple did, they innovated. We designed something very beautiful, which was people were not talking about. Everyone was using keypad, and they launched a full touchscreen mobile phone, and people were crazy about it. So this is what design thinking. So from zero, or some unknown person in the tech industry, they became a big giant and a big name. So this is what. So your design thinking should also be visionary. Visionary in the sense like, what is people want? People are not needing a payment gateway now. People can need a payment gateway in 10 years. So you have to think your designing process in that way always as well. So people are not using, for example, people are not using drones now, but people can use drones in 10 years. So I'll start designing it at this moment. So I'll have a 10-year gap for other, like, competitions in the market. So I have a head start with them, because what I thought is my thinking. So when Apple launched in 2007 their phone, they didn't start at 2007 only. They started way back, and then they launched their product in 2007. Again, Airbnb. It disrupted the hospitality like management process or industry, you say. They thought that when people gives lends their room to anyone, but people want, they have a spare bedroom upstairs and they want to just earn us money, and what, but they don't want, they are not getting any customers. Same as well, even the customers, the users, I'm traveling to some other place. Sometimes I just don't want to live in hotel. I just don't want to be alone. I want to be a family time. I can have, I want to live, no, I don't want to live in a room, but I want to live like in a house. So, and that should can be a cheap as well, because maintaining a hotel is very, like very costly, while maintaining your own home is very cheap. So what Airbnb thought is, let's connect those customers, just a connecting platform, and it disrupted the hospitality. Now Airbnb is one of the top companies in hospitality. And what they did is just design the process. Tesla, we all know, like this is one of the biggest example. When people were laughing on Tesla that someone is going crazy about making cars who will drive itself, it still designed their process in such a way that Tesla is one of the biggest company now, right? So even BMW, Mercedes, like there are some more, Jeep, they are companies from 1960s. Someone from 2000 starts a startup, makes it, gets funding, and make a company, a car, which is now more scalable, more trustworthy, and more people are liking it more. Nobody wants to buy a Jeep who is the company from 1960s or even back before that. So this is what a design process makes you, like an industry expert, an industry leader. So again, I'm attaching both of them because both have done similar thing, which is Netflix. When Netflix started, there was a 2G internet, not even 2G, right? Then they started their company in 1999. Nobody knew Netflix. They were Blockbuster. There's a movie renting company, Blockbuster. In US, they go to Blockbuster shops. They used to rent DVDs and they have to like watch the movies and return the DVDs afterward. That was Blockbuster. What Netflix started, they will stream the movie. People laughed on it. That, why, what do you think? Can people see movies? They laughed on it. Blockbuster, even Netflix, Blockbuster, like Netflix asked Blockbuster to buy them. There was time where they were the initial. Blockbuster said, "You will just give us losses." After a few years, Blockbuster went bankrupt, and now they won't exist. They're not existing because they didn't think it through. They didn't make any design process. They didn't make the evolution. Now Netflix is industry leader in OTT. Now people got inspired from it. They have made competition, but again Netflix has a big share of market, and we want, Netflix has made a bigger impact. Same for Salesforce. People, it redesigned and redefined the people, how the business will interact with customers. So these platform, now Zoho is there, which is Indian startup now, which is working on the same idea. Again, that they are redesigning the thing. Earlier, what company used to think, we'll make call centers, uh, we'll make a health center helplines for the businesses to interact with their customers. The CRMs changed everything. Now they can manage customer, they can check the orders, they can do anything, they can punch in, punch out. Earlier, everything was there on the legacy system, maintained on DB, maintained on Excels. It was a nightmare. And these CRMs came, and this is, that's why Salesforce become a big name, because they redesigned, they thought it through and redesigned the tech industry. Now even MuleSoft, they thought that, okay, I'm Salesforce, I'm a CRM. What people will need now? People will need a Tableau, which is like a business insight. Now people will need integration. So what should I do? Let's buy MuleSoft. Now that's why they acquired MuleSoft, because MuleSoft again is doing a great work where to make the lives of the process easy, the lives of the developers easy, the lives of the customers easy, and the business is easy. What they are doing is, what MuleSoft has done is, MuleSoft has done, let's not go to the coding part, not go to the, just design the process. Let's go for the logic part where you implement the solution. Don't think coding can be anything. Coding is, if this MuleSoft code was in Python, you still didn't care. If it was under SLA, if the calls were happening, if everything was under control, you won't care. because in MuleSoft you design the process, you design the flows. They changed the whole idea of coding to designing. That's why MuleSoft became one of the leading integration experts. So now this was real life business use cases. Now this was the session one. In the session two, now we'll talk about more. So here we introduce what are the designs, what are the design process thinking. Now in the next session, we'll see what are the architecture and the backend of the system, how they are designed. So we'll go more technical than this. So there we'll see that why it is not only backend but also a backbone of any app technology, and why good design architecture is important for any application as in backend related to backend, why it can change things, it can ruin things, and how integration architects impact the design of any application. And then we'll take a short demo where we'll see something, the failure points, the design failures, how efficient design works, and these things. So thank you everyone. So like basically we it is said that business people don't just need to understand designers better, but they need to become designers as well. So this should come as a business, same as a developer. When you are developing in a MuleSoft, you just don't need to be a MuleSoft developer, but you also need to think and take the approval obviously of the seniors first, like for your lead, for your project manager, from your architect, but build a better design. If you will build a better design, no architect will say that don't do this. If you build a efficient design in MuleSoft, they will always approve. So thank you. Now, any questions and answers? Any Q&A? Anyone? Any random question is fine.
Does anyone have questions? Giri, you are or if we don't have any questions, then we can wrap it up.
Hey, Shubham, am I audible?
Yeah, Giri. Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. It's a good session. So, adding to your points, I just want to tell a few things like, see, we always try to explore an innovative approach for any kind of problem, whether it be it personal or professional. So, I mean, design thinking will come into the picture. Maybe we know some kind of design thinking designs when we are working on something, but we always try to explore what better we can do with the existing one. And moreover, we need to develop a unique way of designing solutions for our problems and challenges. So definitely that makes us stand out of the crowd. So maybe these kind of sessions definitely will help us to make such things and understand and take the path towards improvement. So please don't restrict yourself that some design thinking will be taken care by somebody. So we don't need to work on these things. We should change our perspective and we should be able to understand if somebody provides any designs so that we can able to question and answer it. And just kind of suggestion that I want to give.
Thanks, Giri, for the insights.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. I'm eagerly waiting for the next session, next part.
Soon, very soon, Giri.
It is at 26, right? The second part.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, do you want me to share